Hey guys, what's up? This is Patrick Freeman here in Chongqing, China. Today is January 28th. It is now 5:23 p.m. and this is the fifth day of my uploads regarding my experience, my feelings, and the additional news that I'm finding out over here regarding the coronavirus. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine. His name is Mikkel Larson. He has just been a huge help in answering a lot of my questions that I'm actually in return sharing with you guys, and he's just been a really good resource to get information from. He actually is responsible for putting together a chart that I will actually put on this video, and I shared it on Facebook as well already. But you can look at it and see the number of cases within all the different districts here in the Chongqing area. So kudos to you, Mikkel, for helping out. Not only has he helped me out, but he's doing a great job of staying in contact with all the Facebook groups here in China, the teaching groups, the Chongqing group, the travel groups, and I've just noticed that with a lot of people, he's been providing information and just has been a good resource for a lot of the expats here in the Chongqing area. So kudos to you for doing that, and kudos to ICHONGQING, which is where Mikkel works, for distributing this information and also keeping the expat tied into what's going on. So thank you guys, we appreciate it very much. Let me give you the numbers thus far, and this is as of today. I got this from Mikkel this morning, but 22 new cases of the coronavirus have been reported in Chongqing, now bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 132. There are now 4,547 confirmed cases in China and 52 overseas. The number of deaths is at 106 have been reported so far. So I mean, it's rapidly spreading, and hopefully they'll be able to contain this sooner than later. Yesterday I had mentioned that I live in the Nan'an district, and I mentioned that there were no cases in the Nan'an district, and I looked at this chart and there's actually one case here in Nan'an. I don't know where it is exactly, and maybe I can find that out from Mikkel and see how close it is to home. Hopefully it's not the one next door. Sorry, I have to drink my water. And by the way, thanks Mom for making sure that I have plenty of this. When I was in town a couple of months ago, she gave me a whole box of this. So I'm faithfully taking this, Mom. Everything is going to be fine. I love you and I miss you, and I miss my son and I miss my family, and everything is fine. By the way, I have been communicating with my family through WeChat, so they're aware of everything that's going on, and they are watching it. So watching these videos. I wanted to talk, and this is going to be short because I'm making videos that are too long. I feel like they're too long, but just an observation that that hit me this morning, and it actually was based off a conversation that I was having with another friend of mine, Ryan Atkin. He and I actually did a series of videos, 3 videos in the Chowtiman area where I would go buy the red jacket. Off camera, we were talking about his hospital experience. He actually had to go to the hospital for about 5 days. I think it ended up being the flu, and it wasn't serious. It was just kind of a precautionary measure that he checked in. And I asked him, I said, well, how was your hospital stay? And he said it was nice, it was clean, the hospital staff was very accommodating and very attentive to his needs. And you always got to ask the question when somebody stays in the hospital, how is the hospital food? And he says, well, they don't feed you in the hospitals. He says, it's the family that feeds you. And I said, so I guess your wife and family members were feeding you? He says, yeah, they were taking care of that. So I thought that was kind of strange. Really didn't think about it until this morning. And the more that I thought about it, I reached out to Mikkel and I asked him what his experience was. And they had a family member that had to go in the hospital, and in fact they did the same thing. They actually prepared meals and took the meals up to the hospital and fed the family member. And I asked him if it was is it just not included in the government health insurance? And he says it's a package. It's kind of a piecemeal, a la carte thing that you pay for what you want. But in most cases, the hospitals don't provide the food, so the family takes the responsibility of feeding that family member, which is, I guess, it's a good thing. I mean, it probably saved them some money, but I'm thinking in this situation, it could actually cause a little bit more of a problem. And this is just me kind of thinking through the process. And tell me what you guys think. And if there's any expats that are watching this, share with me on the comment section below what you've experienced when it comes to hospital care. Not really the care itself, but I'm just having to not being fed in the hospital. So feel free to make comments on there, and again, make sure that you're not trolling anybody and just being rude to each other. And everybody's done a great job, by the way. So backing up, I asked Toy Toy this morning about it. I said, "What has been your experience?" And it's the same thing across the board, that the family members have usually take up the responsibility of feeding the patient. So let's think about the situation we're in now. If you have a family member that's sick and they have the cold or they have the flu, or let's say they have the coronavirus, they wouldn't know that they have the coronavirus, but they know that they're sick, they would probably be less likely, and I mentioned this yesterday, but this is kind of an add-on to it, they would be less likely to go to the hospital because they don't want to get sick. Let's say they have the flu or the cold, and they go there and they're afraid of contracting the virus itself, because there's a lot of people going to the hospitals now to make sure that they don't have it. But I would also think that the person that is sick within the household may actually get some type of pressure from the family not to go to the hospital, because they realize that, hey, we're going to have to feed this person in the hospital, so now we're going to have to go up to the hospital and subject ourselves or expose ourselves to possibly catching a virus or catching the cold or the flu. So there may be a lot of people, this is, again, I don't want to speculate, I'm just walking down the I'm trying to reason through this process and the way that the culture works, the way that the hospital system works regarding the food. If it were me, that's the way that I would be. I would say, if possible, try to stay home and let's nurse you out of this. Let's get you feeling better, and let's not expose the entire family to possibly catching the virus. So again, me just thinking out loud, not trying to sensationalize or speculate, but I'm just thinking that there could be a lot more cases, not only the person that's sick in the house, but the family members are becoming sick. And so I think in time, we actually may see more individuals coming out or going to the hospital that are sick with the virus, possibly. That's, me just thinking out loud. And it wouldn't be like a government cover-up thing. It would be kind of a family thing, that they're trying to protect all of the family members from having to go up to the hospital and expose themselves to the virus. That's what I wanted to talk about. And again, I'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts, your experience. If there's any doctors that are watching this, I would love to get some feedback from you guys too. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm actually tired. I'm going to take a nap. I've been up. Haven't been sleeping well, just thinking too much and doing too much research. So thank you again for all the prayers and the support and the encouragement, guys. And I will tell you, I'm praying not only for everybody here, but I'm praying for all of you guys and the individuals outside of this country that have contracted it. So let's continue to keep them in our prayers and our thoughts. Guys, thanks again, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.